Shalom uvracha. Today I wanted to bring you just a short idea from the Kitzur Likutei Moharan of Rebbe Nachman of Breslov. And he says something that's very important, and I think it's very important for us in today's world, and that's this. He says we have to do our best, and it's incumbent upon us to avoid the conflicts that may appear between the sages. So what does he mean by this? So we know from our own world that it's very easy for a person to pick a faction or a division over a unification. Meaning, some people say, I am this kind of person, I follow this rabbi. No, I'm this guy and I follow that rabbi. And it's very easy sometimes for us as individuals to get into conflict with each other and not realize the love that we are required to have for each other as Jews and as people. And Rebbe Nachman makes a very big point of this. And he says that when you have sages who are conflicting with each other and maybe seem to be at odds with each other, this is not something that we can understand because it happens at a spiritual level and it happens for the benefit of everybody. What does he mean by this? So back in Rebbe Nachman's day, there was very violent opposition to the Hasidic movement from mitnagdim, people who were opponents of Hasidism, and it wasn't just localized to the Breslov community, it was also all over the different Hasidic courts. And Rebbe Nachman made a point of saying to his followers and his students that it's important for us to not worry about the conflicts or the arguments between two sages. If you have two sages, two righteous people that are indeed righteous, that are really legitimately concerned for the welfare of their people, so then we have to view them as also maintaining value of Torah, even if we ourselves don't agree with that particular position. It's okay to disagree. Everybody's going to disagree. It's human nature. What's not okay is for us to demean the sages who may have an opposing view from us. It's very, very important. Because if we do this, we are demeaning the Torah itself. And Rebbe Nachman says that it can ruin our mind and it can poison our mind to get involved in these types of conflicts. Because we, on the surface, think that these conflicts are personality differences between the two rabbis or between the two differing opinions or Hasidic courts. But in fact, it's not that. In fact, what's going on is something at a much higher level. It's something that we are not understanding and we are not privy to. But Rebbe Nachman says one other thing that's so important and so interesting. He says when the sages are arguing, or when there is a conflict, a seeming conflict between the sages, so what's really going on? What's really going on is that we are anticipating and we are perceiving a conflict that's inside of ourselves. We are looking at a trait that we need to fix in ourselves. And so the conflict, the seeming conflict between the sages, comes to teach us something very important about ourselves, that we have something to fix, we have what to work on, and we should take a lesson from what's going on with these sages as a mirror, a reflection of what's going on in our own life. And if we can truly look at it that way, we can see that the point of this conflict is not to have conflict, but the point of the conflict is to teach us a lesson about ourselves. And when we can learn about what it is that we need to work on and what we want to fix with ourselves, then we can actually get on with the work of doing that and fixing ourselves and creating a tikkun, creating a rectification, a fix of whatever it is that might be troubling us. And so it's important for us to remember that we as people need to take a lesson from the sages, even the sages that don't agree, because as the Talmud says about the conflict between Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai, two competing courts of opinion back in the Talmudic times, and of course we follow the opinion of Beis Hillel. It says that both these and those are the words of the living God, meaning there's still Torah, there's still what to learn and what to take for ourselves and improve ourselves on in between those two stages. Chazak Baruch.